Peace and light, that old guy. Australia, like, share, subscribe. Hey, look, here in Australia, we had a recent federal election where the Labor Party won in a landslide. Now, to govern in Australia, you need to win a minimum of 76 seats. Guess how many Labor won? Ready? Want to show you. Ready? 5. Yeah, 5. So how did they get into government? That's easy. We've got another little trick up our sleeve. It's called preferential voting. Now, preferential voting, not too many Australians understand it. In fact, probably 99% of Australia don't understand it. They've got a kind of an idea, but they don't really know, because what it entails is this. If you're a candidate in an electorate and you don't win, but people vote for you, you then take those votes and you go, who am I going to give these to? And you get the chance to divide your votes. Now, if you don't know who they're going to give them to, or you don't look into it, or they don't tell you, you can vote for Tony and Susan gets the votes. Yeah, it's not a great system. But that's what we got. We've got to work with what we got. It just so happened, I know, that Labor got the preferences. And in the eastern states, early on, they said, yay, Labor's won a landslide victory. But in Western Australia, South Australia, Northern Territory, the polls hadn't closed. In fact, it took the AEC, Australian Electoral Commission, weeks to ratify certain seats, and even up until yesterday, they were still doing recounts because of some abnormalities in the voting system. Now, I know it's only conspiracy theory that we use Dominion voting software, the same software that they used in the US 2020 election, the same software that was used in the Queensland and the WA elections. Sure. There's that. Anyway, Labor's in. Now, the other senator who we didn't vote for, because 65% of Australia voted against Labor. So Senator Penny Wong, who nobody likes, flew over to Geneva to meet with a private organisation. A private organisation who is funded by other countries. Now, one of their major funders was the USA, and the USA withdrew from this organisation because they declared it a terrorist organisation intent on taking over the world. Which leads to me to wonder, if we're allies with America and they declare an organisation a terrorist organisation intent on taking over the world, why would we then go and sign a contract with them? That sounds a bit weird. Anyway, so this organisation is funded by one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, such a philanthropist, and it's also just received a massive injection of funds, $500 million, from the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Really? Yeah. So they now control it. It's called the WHO, the World Health Organization. It's a beautiful name. It conjures up images of love and a desire for the betterment of humanity. The WHO. But it's a private organisation. And just like the WEF, the World Economic Forum, which is also a private organisation, government officials attend there regularly and discuss matters to do with the world with a private organisation. Anyway, this particular Senator, Wong, decided that we needed to be on board with their protocols, and they put together a deal for us that if we ever have a pandemic on our shores here in Australia, They come in, they declare the pandemic, and then they control the whole situation for us. Isn't that wonderful? Because we're useless. We've got no idea what we're doing. They'll come in. They just come in, organise it, control the borders, control the businesses, control the mandates, control the injections, everything. They just control the whole thing for us, and we just got to sit back and let it go. Whew. Isn't that wonderful? That is wonderful, yeah? Of course, if they came here, they would need some sort of force to get the people to cooperate, which would mean involving another private organisation which has millions of soldiers, the United Nations. They could just come here and they would have jurisdiction and sovereignty over Australia. It doesn't sound that good when you say it like that. But anyway, I'm sure they've got the best interests of humanity and us as Australians at heart, like Bill Gates does. Now, okay, he's a software developer, but he's given up on that. He's made billions and trillions and zillions. He's given up on that. And so he came here when Mr. Albanese, our Prime Minister, got elected the first time. They had a secret meeting with him and had a little chat to him. Nobody knew he'd even come. And, of course, those minutes of that meeting is very secret, very, very secret. In fact, we put in freedom of information requests and Mr. Albanese said national security, see how concerned he is about Australia? National security means that he can't release the minutes of that meeting. Wow, he's a tough man. Anyway, Bill's given up on that. He's manufacturing vaccines now. Look, I know he had a problem in India where he, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of villages in remote areas got killed from his vaccine. But I mean, for God's sake, how many billions are there in India? Don't worry about it. This is a collateral damage, Bill. This stuff happens when you've got humanity at heart. And Bill's a genuine man. He's dimming the sun for us, even, because he knows the planet's so hot. It's too hot, too much CO2, and we've got to get rid of it and dim the sun. And there'll be a few side effects of that. In the short period, there'll be some side effects where plants won't grow too well and crops won't grow too well, and all the chemicals he's spraying in the air to dim the sun will filter down and we'll breathe them in, and so will the bird life and the bees and things, and it goes into the waterways and animals will drink it and we'll drink it, and it'll go into the land and then it will go into the plants and then we'll eat that. Sounds a bit poisonous, really. But, he'll dim the sun and lower the temperature of the planet. That's very important. It's very important. Yeah, he's a very humanitarian man. Anyway, lo and behold, you're going to be, listen to this, this will surprise you. Penny Wong, the senator nobody likes and didn't vote in, lucky she signed that pandemic treaty with the WHO, because no sooner had she got back to Australia than they found variants, mutations of SARS-CoV-2, and the mainstream media was lit up with coloured pictures of viruses and reporters doing voice-overs on the media going, hello, I know, it's kind of, woo, yeah. They found all these variants. They weren't there before she went, but they're there now. And fortunately, she signed that treaty, which means if the WHO want to step in and take care of business, they can, because we've signed on to the terrorist organisation. A government, pardon me, let me get this right. A government we voted out, that we didn't want in, and a minister we don't like who went and met with a private organisation and signed a contract with them to allow them onto Australian soil with foreign agents to control any kind of pandemic that they declare in any way they see fit. funded by a software developer who manufactured killer vaccines, and a communist party in a major country intent on taking over Australia if they can, that who's also dimming the sun that's poisoning the planet. That doesn't sound that great. It's almost like this big island of ours is a test case for the rest of the world. But that couldn't be right. Surely not. Surely not. Surely we wouldn't be a trial to see how they can iron out all the bugs, so to speak. Surely not. That would be a conspiracy theory.